This is a news story I've been planning to cover for a very long time. Just have a long list of videos to make. This one is no doubt a hoax 100%. I'm going to prove that without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm also going to make the connection with Katy Perry. First off, taking a look at the supposed parents of JonBenet Ramsey. Just actors, that's all they are, nothing more. Just take a look at this interview with the supposed mother, Patsy Ramsey, which I believe is nothing more than a play on names, of course, with the reference as Patsy, just like the supposed JFK shooting with Lee Harvey Oswald. Now let's take a look at this interview. Clearly see this woman is just an actress. There's no tears. I call these TV tears. That means there are none. Take a look.
We're residents of Boulder. I tell my friends to keep your baby close to you.
And again, no tears. You don't see the swelling of the eyes. Let's take a closer look.
If I were a resident of Boulder, I would tell my friends to keep your baby close to you.
Of course, she puts on that sad face, but where are the tears? Now, what really gives us away are the occultic numbers associated with this supposed news story. Let's just take a look at all the information on JonBenet Ramsey here. Let's get a little bit of a close-up so we can get a better look at the numbers. Supposedly, she was born on August 6, 1990 in Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, as I mentioned many times, Atlanta, Georgia is on the 33rd parallel. Just like CNN, like I pointed out many times, is located also in Atlanta, Georgia on the 33rd parallel. Understand, as I mentioned before as well, Christ, of course, was crucified at the age of 33. This is all about the mockery of Christ. And the reason the highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is 33. Talking about the mockery of Christ, let's get back the numbers associated with JonBenet Ramsey. Supposedly died on December 25th. And of course, the date that supposedly Christ was born, when he was actually more likely born the end of September, the beginning of October. Whole nother subject. Basically, this is Nimrod's birthday, the occult of Babylon. Getting back to, again, the 33, take a look at the supposed resting place in Marietta, Georgia, also on the 33rd parallel. Of course, supposedly died in Boulder, Colorado. Now, after establishing what supposedly happened to JonBenet Ramsey, this character is nothing more than a hoax. Let's take a look at this comparison photo from People magazine with Katy Perry. And I find this pretty interesting. I want to touch upon them all. This is a pretty big issue here that I want to get into. But first off, first thing I noticed, something doesn't look right about this photo. Her smile just doesn't seem right. Let's get a little bit of a close-up and let's make it a comparison. First thing off the bat, I see those chins. To me, these chins are identical. Take a look at the eyes. Extremely similar. The lighting's a little bit off. But to me, these eyes are the same. And looking at the eyebrows as well, to me, they are a match for the most part. Of course, she has her trimmed as she gets older. Now, getting onto the mole, this is the real thing that I'm looking at here. I understand Katy Perry, she wears a good amount of makeup, and she has basically 2 moles on the side of her neck. She has multiple moles on her body. But a big mole here, which I believe they basically covered up with JonBenet Ramsey, and they left one for whatever reason. I'm going to get into that, but let's first off understand, again, I believe this photo was flipped. I don't believe it's flipped. I know it was flipped. But I've seen multiple photos with the mole on the other side. Let's take a look. This one here, for example. See, again, the mole on the right side. You definitely see something's going on here. Just a little bit of a brighter image that I made so people can get a better idea. Now, this image here, I want to point out, and you can see the mole again on her right side. Just so people don't think that I'm messing with Photoshop, doing something. Let's take a look here at Coin6 official website. You can look at this yourself. The mole is on her right side. Again, I'll get a little bit of a close-up. That's just not enough for someone, for some people. There's a book for a magazine titled Death of a Little Princess. And again, the mole is on the right side. So it totally contradicts what People magazine shows. And again, I believe this was to throw people off. Let's just take a look at more images. Again, a little bit of a close-up. Many photos with the mole on the right side. I want to get in here a little bit more. This image here, another comparison. I lighten this one up again. Take a look here at Katy Perry when she was young. Of course, known as Katy Hudson then. You can see here that there's a mole here and a mole here. I'm going to get a little bit of a close-up for a comparison. Kind of hard to see, but there's a little mole here and there's a larger mole here. There's another image here of her. Not many good images of Katy Perry when she was younger. You definitely see that mole again here, right here again. And I believe for the photos for when she was JonBenet Ramsey, they just covered this one up and they left the smaller one alone for whatever reason. I'm just taking a look, the side by side of JonBenet Ramsey to the left and Katy Perry to the right. To me, pretty much spot on. Think about it for a second. JonBenet Ramsey, fictitious name. Katy Perry, a fictitious name. These are all characters. And again, I believe they are one and the same. Now again, talking about Katy Perry and her moles, let's take a look at this photo. Basically, she has makeup on her face and a bit on her neck, but her chest itself, she hasn't put much makeup, and you could definitely see the moles. Make it out a little bit here and a little bit here. You see the moles. A little bit of a close-up. See, again, she's covered them up with makeup, but they're still exposed somewhat. Now with this image here, she's definitely put makeup all over her chest. She's basically covered up all of her moles. A ton of makeup on her face. A little bit of a close-up. You can't really see anything. A little tiny mole here, but bottom line is, again, I believe something definitely going on with her moles. With these photos, I believe, again, they're one and the same. Again, let me go to this one image here. And to me, I mean, this is pretty much spot on. So to me, the whole entire JonBenet Ramsey murder is nothing more than a hoax. To me, it's 100%. As far as her being Katy Perry, I believe it's her. We don't have to agree on this. What happened to JonBenet Ramsey if she was not murdered? To me, just makes the most sense. Everything matches up. Looks just like her. Questions about the moles, to me, really raise a red flag. Why they flip this over again with People magazine to throw people off. And as far as JonBenet Ramsey's parents, supposed parents, again, it's not her real name. And these two are just actors. That's all they are. And as far as Katy Perry's parents, these, I believe, probably her real parents. And these are the actors that played her parents when she played JonBenet Ramsey. It's that simple. Let's do a little quick comparison. Look at the nose. The father here. Take a look at that nose. Let's see, he had a nose job. It's not him. The mother, definitely not the same. They look similar, but not the same. No cigar. Of course, they're both singers. Just a coincidence, I'm sure, that they're both singers. Take a little listen here.
The tragic murder of 6-year-old beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey has become one of the great crime stories of the 20th century.
Yeah, they're fabricated crime stories. That's all they give us is fake news stories. I also want to get into the occult of the name Ramsey. Like I stated, it's just a made-up name. I'm going to point that out right here when it comes to Ramsey. It all has to do with the bloodline. It started off in Babylon, made its way to Egypt, to Rome, to England, and then to the U.S. I'll make that connection now. Just look at the dollar sign. What do you see here? It spells out Isis. And this is, of course, represents the goddess from Egypt. Of course, that's the front of the U.S. dollar. Now let's look at the back. Of course, everybody wonders why there is a Egyptian pyramid on the back of the U.S. dollar. Again, it's all about the bloodline. So again, You have an Egyptian pyramid in the back, a dollar sign that's in the front. It's all about the occult of Egypt. And people think this is just a coincidence. Doesn't mean anything. Just look again at the bloodline. The princess died. She had a perfume, and it was called Isis. This is all about, again, the bloodline. Of course, again, with Ramsey, let's look at the connection with the public school system. People don't think I'm off course here when I say Ram represents Ramsey. Just take a look here at the school district with the Ram with Ramsey. Another one here, Ramsey Junior High. Have the Ram again. Anoka Ramsey Rams. You have here the basketball team. You have the police department in New Jersey. And taking a look, of course, at Charles Ramsey. This guy made, headlines for supposedly rescuing Amanda Berry. Again, this is nothing more than a hoax, nothing more than a psyop. Again, with the occultic numbers here, with 33. She was supposedly 33 years old when rescued. Let's take a closer look at this at UK Mail, Daily Mail, I should say. They say she was 33-year-old survivor. Give me a break. And again, dragging on this news story. More recently with Charles Ramsey in the news again. The world is a stage. How people can't see what's taking place is beyond me. And here is Dave Ramsey, his financial advisor on CNN. Here's another Charles Ramsey with the police force here on CNN as well. Gordon Ramsay. These people behind the scenes are all about the occult. I can't stress that enough. I'm not saying his name is fictitious or made up, but he was propped up, propelled because of his name. Hell's Kitchen, being of course on Fox. As I mentioned before, Fox and Pythagorean numerology is hidden 666 in plain sight. Taking a look at these images here with Gordon Ramsay, 200 episode on Fox 666. You see the pot with the pitchfork, and I'm going to explain that as well. All about the occult. Might be getting off topic here when it comes to JonBenet Ramsey, but this is very important so people understand what's taking place. Not just that story is fabricated. Pretty much all of news, all of TV is nothing more than a movie, basically fabrication. All they give us, and it's all about the occult. Again, with Hell's Kitchen, take a look at that pitchfork. This all relates to Satanism, of course. Let's take a look. 9/11, when it comes to these tridents, which are nothing more than pitchforks, devil's pitchforks. Interesting enough, if you turn them sideways, they're basically going to look like two 33s, as you can see right here. Now, the occult of 9/11, again, see the tridents built in this building. One of the towers here, of course. Now let's look at the numerology here so people understand what's taking place. Like I said, it's always about the numbers with the so-called elite. It was David Rockefeller on March 11th, 1961 that proposed the World Trade Center project. Of course, you get the third month of the year being March. So you get 3 times 11 is 33. Just so happened in 1968 was the year Twin Towers construction began. In the same year, 9/11 was made the National Emergency Dialing Code. Interesting enough as well, Rockefeller in numerology equals 110. Each of the towers was 110 stories. 1968 construction of the towers began, and they came down in 2001. That's exactly 33 years. So everything is always by the numbers. We communicate through language. They communicate through numbers. That's their system. Basically coded numbers. And I'll get to more on that when it comes to news stories. So you'll understand what's taking place when these towers came down exactly 33 years after construction. Understand this was a planned event, 100%. Now, interesting enough, again, when it comes to 9/11, of course, as I stated, 1968 was the year that 9/11 went into the National Registry as far as emergency calling system. And interesting enough, again with 311 is the number to dial for non-emergency calling for governments. Now let's take a look here. What it all comes down to when it comes to 9/11 and understand what it's all about with the occult. It's all from the Bible. It states here they had a king over them, which is from the bottomless pit. name in Hebrew is Abaddon. In Greek is Apollyon. Apollyon means Apollo the Destroyer. And of course, this is from Revelation 9:11. Understand, this is the only verse in the Bible that the Antichrist is named. So these Satanists, they know the Bible inside and out. That's why you get these occultic numbers. Of course, 9:11 from Revelation 9:11, and 3:11 being 33. This is the year or the age that Christ was crucified. So again, you'll understand why they have these tridents at this memorial. All has to do with the occult again, with this false god Poseidon. We'll get into this a little bit with fake news stories when it comes to the Malaysian supposed plane crash in the ocean. What you have here, you have the trident basically turned sideways with the Malaysian Airlines, and you have the hidden 33 in plain sight. Take a look at other occultic logos. Let's look at Maserati here. Look at the coat of arms for the Ukraine, the trident as well. Indiana State University, you have the trident. Again, with the 33s, when it comes to fabricated news stories, so people understand what's taking place with our fabricated history. Take a look at Roswell, like I mentioned before in other videos. Out of all the places in the world where the first supposed crash of a UFO happened, it happened on the 33rd parallel in Roswell, New Mexico. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. Like I've covered before as well, O.J. Simpson, this hoax trial, nothing more than a divide and conquer news story. It just so happens, after O.J. was supposedly acquitted from this hoax trial, the Goldman family, they sued O.J. for $33 million. Then years later, O.J., he was supposedly arrested for stealing back his own merchandise, and he was sentenced for 33 years in jail. Just more occultic, made-up numbers with the number 13. Exactly 13 years after he was acquitted from the murder trial, he was found guilty on 12 charges, again, serving 33 years. So you understand, when it comes to these news stories, you don't have to read the text. All their lies are within the numbers with all these news stories. So people, again, don't believe these numbers are just a coincidence. Let's take a look here, again, at more. When it comes to the occult, as I mentioned, with O.J., just another article, more recent article based on the 33. Let's take a look here at the supposed killing or murder of this TSA officer a few years back at LAX. He supposedly bled to death for 33 minutes. So I guess someone stood over his body while he was bleeding to death, and they counted down for exactly 33 minutes. Give me a break. How they, the so-called elite, own every aspect of our society. Let's take a look at the Super Bowl here with a supposed power outage at the Super Bowl down in New Orleans a few years back. A 33-minute power outage. Of course, this is the so-called elite's way of saying we own and control it all. Just like the Indy 500, you have 3 rows, 11 cars deep, you have 33. Taking a look at the music industry with this group called 311, this band. The man doing the double horns here. How obvious can it be? They own and control the media, sports, Indy 500, music. One thing I want to get into is the supposed murder of Emily Parker, of course, from Sandy Hook. What do you see here? The devil horns. I'm going to get into this. Understand, again, the occult of 33. Understand the supposed father, who you see here smiling at the press conference the day after. His name is Robbie Parker, and this supposedly all went down in Newtown, Connecticut. Now, again, can't stress this enough. Complete fabrication. Let's take a look at his first name, what just so happens to come up to, 33. How about his last name? 33. What an amazing coincidence. His first and last name are 33. How about Newtown, where it supposedly took place? 33. Now, getting back to OJ, let's take a look at his name. 33. His first name is OJ for orange juice. Let's take a look at orange. You get 33. The owner and creator of CNN, Ted Turner, 33. Bill Gates. These are all puppets in the game. Spelt his name, Gates Fates. Bill Gates, 33. You understand here what's taking place when it comes to so-called elite, you just so happen to have an occultic name. When it comes to people like Ted Turner, even James Cameron, just came to my head right now. James Cameron, 33. You just so happen, again, to have an occultic name, you're going to be propped up with Robbie Parker. I'm not sure if that's his real first name and real last name, whatever the case. It's all about the occult. Now, listen, people should understand and get the point what's taking place here. After the supposed press conference, and later on with the funeral, take a look. Big grin on his face. So before and after, this man's smiling, and he's smiling all the way to the bank. There's more occult with supposedly what took place in Sandy Hook, Newtown. What do you see? This woman smiling, but hidden in plain sight like always, you see the devil horns. Getting back to the 33s a little bit here, with our fabricated history, just take a look. The supposed bomber at the Oklahoma City bombing with Timothy McVeigh, and he was supposedly executed at the age of 33. You think this is all just a coincidence? You're in denial. Another news story here, supposed news story, nothing but fabrication. The Virginia Tech shooting took place a few years back. What do you see here? 33 deaths, including the supposed perpetrator. Give me a break. Another 33 news story. It just happened, I believe, it was 2 years ago now, with Cassidy Stay. And you see what's called duping delight here, with her handler. I believe this is her grandfather in the back. All smiles. Supposedly she lost both of her parents and all of her siblings, and she's quoting Harry Potter. I'm not going to play the video. You can look it up online. It's a complete joke. Taking a look here. She's parading around town, throwing up the supposed love sign, which is nothing more than devil horns, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Another photo of her. And supposedly she was shot in the head herself. Give me a break. And getting back to the 33, so that 33 associated with all these psyops, all these hoaxes. This is the supposed perpetrator wearing orange. And interesting enough, see here, orange is 33 as well. Everything's coded with numbers, dates, and colors. Like I said, people read news articles, they watch TV, they listen to the words, but if you don't understand the occult, you will not understand those that laid the foundation, the Freemasons. They speak with another language. It's not through words. Again, numbers, colors, symbols, and signs. Again, here, taking a look here. Now, getting back to Sandy Hook, you'll see the so-called love sign, which again is nothing more than a satanic sign. We all have been given false definitions to what things mean. This means the love sign is to society, but in actuality it is the devil horns. Taking a look at Helen Keller, even though she was blind, she was into this religion, Theosophist, basically created by Madame Blavatsky, founded in 1875. Basically, she stated, it is Satan who is the God of our planet and the only God. Understand why you see all these so-called elite, these Satanists in disguise, such as the Pope, throwing up these double horn signs. Getting off topic here a bit with this one celebrity. She's wearing the orange, throwing up the devil horns. Understand, orange again is 33. Interesting enough, you see the Nickelodeon logo in the back. I'm going to get into that a little bit. Take a look here. Interesting enough, you see the pyramid with the all-seeing eye, the lightning bolt with the arrow pointing down. And as I've mentioned many times, the lightning bolt, this is a representation of Satan, as it states in the Bible, Luke chapter 10, verse 18. Jesus beheld Satan falling from heaven as lightning. The orange color, of course, understand why it's called Nickelodeon. Before I get into that, let's look at this image here. More pyramids, the all-seeing eye. More of the same. Understand why, again, why it's called Nickelodeon. Understand the occult of Nick. Old Nick is known as the devil and Satan. When you think of Santa Claus, and people think he has something to do with Jesus' birthday, which again supposedly on December 25th, which is not the case at all. It's all satanic worship. With Santa's Lodge, again, Old Nick, and there's a reason. They have the triple Ho, ho, ho. It's all about witchcraft. First of all, let's take a look at this. At this symbolism here with Santa going down the chimney. Basically a representation of the pit of hell. Again, getting back to ho, 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 and that's all about, the meaning, the hidden meaning. It's all about witchcraft again. Take a look here from Treasury of Witchcraft, page 23. Powerful triple repetition is characteristic of magical ritual. Just like Rihanna, who's deep into the occult, her tour for 7 days, 7 countries, 7 shows, 777. Again, triple digit repetition. Interesting enough, let's take a look here at Obama basically performing a ritual at UC Irvine. Let's take a look at this clip. And this is all part of mockery. Take a look.
And the signal will be 1, 2, 3, zot, zot, zot. We need to shake the rafters on this one. So, 1, 2, 3, zot, zot, zot.
So, of course, you saw the devil horns. And the triple repetition was zot, zot, zot. Just like ho, ho, ho. Now, all about the occult. If you don't understand the occult, all this will go right over your head. Just like the Texas Longhorns. They're wearing the orange for 33. They get the devil horns. And Matthew McConaughey, which is MM for 33. Just like Mad Max. Just like Marilyn Monroe. Just like Marilyn Manson. You know, Michael Myers. It goes on and on with the MM33. Marty McFly. All these occultic names based on 33. Taking a look here, where it all starts with the children. Take a look at this school. This is actually in Colorado. What do you see? They're all throwing up these devil horns in the auditorium here. And like they say, get them while they're young. And that's what's taking place here. Now just take a look at this Pampers commercial. The kids throwing up the devil horns. And you see the 666 hand sign. For those that don't understand, this is a little circle. For a 6, you get 3 6s. This is completely pathetic how they use little children to push their satanic agenda. Just taking a look at this U.S. stamp here, flashing the devil horns at this child. Completely sick and twisted society we live in, owned and controlled by the so-called elite, who of course, the postal system is owned and controlled by the government. As I mentioned, they love a play on names on their fabricated stories. Of course, Lorraine Bobbitt and John Bobbitt. I mean, you find it interesting. Basically, the word Bobbitt, it's like they bobbed it off his male part. Again, this is just nothing but a fabrication. We keep this news story alive with Bobbitt. Where are they now on The View? This is completely ridiculous here. Now, let's take a look here at more of our fabricated history when it comes to this woman here. Supposedly the first woman in space, Sally Ride. Again, a play on words, a play on names with Sally Ride. Take a listen to what she says here. Just a quick clip.
I was very honored that NASA chose me to be the first woman.
It carried an American woman astronaut, Sally Ride, into space and into history. Lynn Scher has the story.
And of course with Cape Canaveral, that is CC for 33.
She was grinning with excitement even before she left the Earth. Even before the crowds here chanted, "Ride, Sally, ride."
I'm going to play the song by Lou Reed, Ride, Sally, Ride. Again, it's just a play on names. This is what they love to do. She's never been in space. Nobody has been in space. NASA's nothing more than a psyop.
Ride, Sally, ride. It's not your time or way of confusion.
Again, just complete mockery. This is how they do it. Another example of play on names is Anthony Weiner, when he supposedly showed his wiener someone while he was texting. Find this interesting here with his wife. Of course, she's part of it all. Weiner's wife. This is just like Wonder Woman, Willy Wonka. That's WW for 33. Nothing but their hoax code, which is, again, 33. Understand, these people, if they like it or don't like it, they must partake in these fake news stories. These are psychopaths behind the scenes pulling the strings. And again, to be part of this rigged reality, you got to go along with them if you like it or not. And I'm going to play a previous video demonstrating how Freemasonry is nothing more than Satanism in disguise.